So the fact of the matter is that this could be a possible counter trend level, and that's another thing we'll be looking for here at the trading channel for counter trend trades is the 1.1307 level to act as a possible level for this market to bounce off of. Now, of course, so guys, that was our analysis last week here on the euro dollar. We said that we were expecting this market to come down to the 1.1307 level. We expected that level to provide some kind of counter trend bounce out of the market of somewhere around 100 pips. And if we're looking at the chart now, you can see that we ended up making that prediction correctly to the pip. This market came down and just barely touched that 1.1307 level, and since then has pushed up a little over 146 pips from that level. We actually were able to catch a trade, as you can see on your screen, from that level as well, which is currently up a little over 80 pips. We're going to talk about that analysis. We're also going to go over the top 5 major pairs. We're going to do the same exact analysis we did last week, and we do this, guys, each and every Monday. We give you guys our predictions on where we think the market is going to go for the top 5 major pairs and how we think it's going to get there, whether we're looking at counter trend levels or trend continuation levels. So if that sounds like something that would be valuable to your trading, make sure you click that button down below the video to the right hand side and join the over 70,000 trader community that we currently have here at the trading channel. We're one of the fastest growing trading education channels, and I want to thank all of you who are already subscribed for helping us get to this point. Now again, after the intro and disclaimer, we're going to take a look at the top 5 major pairs. I'm going to give you guys our predictions on those top 5 major pairs, and we'll also be giving you guys a few techniques, hints, and skills that can help you in your trading career. So stick around through the intro and disclaimer, and I'll see you guys directly after. Okay guys, so we're going to take a look at the euro dollar now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this as our first pair, and before we get into our predictions on what we think this market could do in the future, let's go ahead and take a look at what it's already done and discuss the analysis behind that trade you see on the screen and why we expected this market to have this big counter trend bounce from this level, in case you missed the video from last week. The answer to that question is that we have a market that had pushed down to a level of structure support, right? And it's the most recent level of structure support compared to where price action was, and that's a very significant part of this as well. So what I mean by that is that price action during the time of last week's video was about right here where I just drew my black line, and I knew that the most previous level of support was right here, or we knew the most previous level of support that the market was pushing down to, and that if it continued in the downward direction it would hit was right here. Now, something we added to that in order to increase accuracy on this was that this level's also been tested as resistance and as support and resistance multiple times in the past as well. This can be a really great way to add accuracy to any of your trading opportunities. In order to improve accuracy on counter trend trades, if you're a counter trend trader, if you're not, don't pay attention to this at all, but if you are, would be to look for a level of structure that's the most recent level tested compared to where price action is. Again, what I mean by that is if price action was right here yesterday or last week during our video, the most recent level of structure support that hasn't been tested yet, that was support in the past, was right here that we just circled. So looking at that level, then asking yourself, is that level a level that's been tested previously multiple times? That's all we did to predict this level at 1.1307 here on the euro dollar. And predicting that level, of course, is not the entire battle. That's one little piece of the puzzle. The next step is finding an entry reason that you can actually start building a strategy, building a trading plan based around this type of structure analysis. So let's see how we entered this trade. Let's drop down to a smaller time frame and talk about how we actually got involved. So we'll go ahead and go down to a 1 hour time frame, which is how we got involved in the trade you see on your screen. We actually had an EAP entry reason on a little bit of a different time frame with different entry reasons. We won't discuss that in this video for the purpose of YouTube. Some of the strategies we teach here, this is the reason we entered this trade. We have all of our conditions met, right? This is how you build a trading strategy. All of our conditions are met if we're trading around structure based on counter trend. We have a multiple tested level of structure looking left that was also the most previously tested level of structure support. That combination can make for a really accurate level of to place trades around. So since we have that, our next step is try to find an entry reason. As you can see, the market came right down into 1.1307 right here. And what does this look like if you're looking at this entire move right here? If you're familiar with head and shoulders patterns, then this is, in fact, we push down to a left shoulder, push up, push back down to a head. The head comes right into that price action level we were talking about and expected to be a counter trend bounce. Then we get this push up, we get a left shoulder here, and we get the move higher that we took advantage of on this trade you see on your screen. So looking for these levels and then seeing this right here, you can use just simple price action patterns around these levels to help improve the accuracy of the simple price action pattern. Also, guys, we have a full free, absolutely free training on reversals. That's something else we used in this specific scenario. This market, as you can see, was going into a downtrend, pushing lower, pushing lower. Then we get this move. What does this move do? Breaks above our previous level of resistance here and here. This is what we look for reversals here at the trading channel. And again, we have an absolutely free reversal training series that we released a couple of weeks ago. We're going to keep that up for a few more days. If you want to go ahead and check that out, if you haven't yet, then click the link in the description labeled free reversal training. So we have that situation here. We have that left shoulder created of our head and shoulders pattern. That's how we took advantage of this trade that you see on your screen currently. Now, since we've looked at everything we used in order to place this trade here on the euro dollar, let's go ahead and zoom back out to the daily chart and take a look at what we're expecting next out of this pair. So that's what happened. That's how we were able to get involved in this trade. That's what happened based on our weekly market prediction video from last Monday. And as you can see, these trades, guys, swing trading, they set up a week in advance sometimes. That was predictions we had last Monday, and it all came together to equal a nice profitable trade for today. Here we are Monday again. And for this Monday, since we've already had this counter trend bounce, if we zoom the chart out a little bit, you can tell that the euro dollar's in a pretty massive downtrend, right? We have move lower, move lower. So what does that mean? That means we're expecting this market to continue down. One of our very likely places for that to happen is the most previously broken level of support. Very similar to this counter trend technique we were just taking a look at, where we're looking at multiple levels of structure and the most previous level of structure support. Remember, we were just talking about this level. Very similar to that. What we're looking at here on the chart is the market pushing down past this period of consolidation that provided a support level that was tested multiple times. And because of that, we're waiting on this market now to get to the 1.1548 level and provide some kind of trend continuation push down here for the euro dollar. That's what we're hoping, we're excited for this week. We're hoping the market gets up there and gives us some kind of opportunity on our lower time frame to push the market down. Not because we know that that's going to equal a 100% winning trade. There's no way to be 100% accurate in the Forex market, but we know we'll have a statistical advantage if the market gets there and provides us with an entry reason. And if I have a 60-70% chance of making a decent amount of money, then I get very excited about that, guys. So looking forward to this market getting up to that level. And this, guys, is a really good technique to use, either trend continuation or counter trend, either way. Because if you're, let's say you're a trend continuation trader, you don't need to be paying attention when we're talking about counter trend trades. Stick to one thing at first, especially if you're a beginner. So if you're really, really good at trend continuation, or if you're a beginner at trend continuation, you can apply these same principles. Trend continuation would be looking at this level as a level that's been tested multiple times. It's also the most previously broken level of structure. Because of those two factors, it can provide a pretty accurate place to look for trend continuation. All we need to apply now is your trading plan. All we need to apply now is whatever strategies you use. Of course, don't apply them and just trade this blindly. Take all of these techniques and skills you're learning not only here, but that you've learned from other people or that you've created on your own. Go through historical data and test them for yourself, guys. So that's our predictions here on the euro dollar. We're expecting this market hopefully to get up to 1.1548. We're expecting that level to provide some kind of some kind of trend continuation play to the downside. So that's what we're going to be looking for here out of this pair. We'll go ahead and move on now to the pound dollar. And here on this pair, we had a really similar situation to the euro dollar. Last week, we were looking at a counter trend level. That counter trend level we pointed out was at 1.2662. As you can see, this market came right down to that blue line and has since then pushed up by over 100 pips. So another case where using this multiple tested level of structure looking left, combining that with the most recently tested level of structure support. Again, we'll take a look at this, guys. Here's our most recent level of structure support the market was pushing down to. And if it continued down, I knew that this was the level it would hit, because at the time of our video last week, the market was right here where I just drew my black line. So with that being the case, I knew this was the most recent level of structure that the market has not touched yet as support. And I did the same exact thing. I waited to see if it got down to that level. I also looked to see if this level was a level that had been tested multiple times. Here we have twice. We have resistance all back through here. knowing that information, I knew that this would provide a decent level to look for counter trend bounce. So here, out of this market, that's exactly what we got, was a counter trend bounce. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and play a clip from last week's video talking about this level and talking about this trade, just for transparency, and I'll be right back directly after that clip. That's what we'll be looking for, possible trend continuation. Again, I also like to look at counter trend levels personally. I trade both trend continuation and counter trend. If all you trade is trend continuation, don't pay attention to this part of the video. But for our counter trend level, if we zoom the chart out, what we're looking for is that very next level of support. So to make that easier, we can put a horizontal line on price action, and then we can say, okay, well, what's the most previous level down from that? Right there's our support level. And we're looking at that level, asking ourselves, is it a level that's been tested multiple times? The answer to that, of course, is yes. We have support here, resistance, resistance, resistance. This level's been tested multiple times, which means it could be one of those highly accurate places to look for a counter trend bounce that gives us a possible 100 pips or so out of the pound dollar. And that's what we'll be looking for as a counter trend play here on the pound dollar. So guys, as you can see, 1.266 working out as a counter trend bounce level. The next thing we're looking at on the pound dollar is a little bit different than the euro dollar. As you can see, this is a pretty volatile downtrend. This market's moving pretty quickly. It's got a lot of momentum to the downside. What that means for us is that we could possibly see a smaller retracement than a move all the way back up to the most previously tested level of structure support. So this was the most previously broken level of structure support. That's normally what we're looking for when it comes to trend continuation for our trend continuation play. But in this case, because this is such a momentum-filled move, momentum-filled trend to the downside, we need to look for levels of structure before this previously broken level here. And the reason for that, again, is because the amount of momentum we have, this market may not even get all the way back up to the 1.3 level here on the pound dollar. So what we did was pointed out a level of structure, again, that's been tested multiple times in the past as support. We can now use this level as possible resistance for trend continuation out of the pound dollar. So for this pair, 1.2808 is going to be the level of structure we're paying attention to. We want the market to get up into, and we want to find a trading opportunity around here at the trading channel, around 1.2808. That's our predictions for the pound dollar. So that's a look at this pair. Let's go ahead now and move on to our next pair. We're going to do the rest of this pretty quickly. I normally don't like these videos getting over about 10, 12 minutes long. We're already at 10 minutes here. So we're going to do this analysis rather quickly from here on out, looking at these last three Forex pairs. So here on the dollar yen, not much has changed. We're going to move our level of structure support down to around 110 even. What we're looking at here is this market is in an uptrend until we break below this previous level of structure support. At least according to my analysis, that is the case. So right here is going to be a good trend continuation play, because this is a level in the market that has been tested multiple times as support and resistance around 109.8, around that, between that and the 110 even handle. Good place to start looking for possible trend continuation. Long trades out of the dollar yen, in my opinion. That's what I'm going to be looking for personally here out of this market. So that's our predictions for the dollar yen. Next up, we'll look at the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar is right up in the zone that we're looking at. Right up in the zone that we're looking at for possible trend continuation. So just like on the euro dollar, right, and on the pound dollar, we're looking at this level as a level that's been tested multiple times in the past. It's also been tested as major support and resistance before this. Looking left, the market has pushed down. This is the most previously broken level of structure. This looks like eyeballs. I can draw a face here. Haha. Anyway, so now that this market's pushed up since then, we're looking at this zone right here in the yellow box around the 0.7317 area as a possible place to look for trend continuation out of the Aussie dollar. So that's what we're predicting on this pair, is that we get some trend continuation in this little yellow box we have in our zone around 0.7317. Next up, our final pair we're going to take a look at, and we have been able to get through this really quickly, haven't we? The next pair we're going to take a look at is the dollar Swiss. All right, the dollar Swiss is in the same exact position we were in last week. Is that a flag?
The same exact position we were in last week. Is that a flag?
Oh my gosh. The dollar Swiss is in the same exact position we were in last week. So on this pair, we're in this period of consolidation. We're looking for possible upside moves. We can also look at this level as resistance around 1.0050. We can look at support around 0.9802. If either of these levels are broken, we can look for them to act as opposite. So if we break this level to the downside, the support level, then we're looking at it as resistance. If we break this level to the upside, then we're going to be looking at it as support. then that's exactly what we're looking for here on the dollar Swiss. That's our predictions for this pair. So guys, that was our weekly market predictions for this Monday. I actually have already recorded this video twice. I did it the first time and forgot to hit the record button on the camera. Did it the second time, forgot to hit the record button on my screencast software. So this is the third time going through this video. Pretty happy to finally get it done. I've done this analysis over and over at this point. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Go ahead and give me a like for that effort I put in on producing this video 3 different times. Also, make sure you're subscribed here to the trading channel. If you'd like to be alerted about the videos we come out with each and every Monday, make sure to click that notification bell. And guys, if you want some more advanced training going over the same exact entry reasons we use, if you want me to help you build a trading plan side by side with me through video courses, then we have our EAP training program, of course, that's available to you. There's a link in the description for that course. Currently running a little discount on that course of about 30%. We're gonna be doing that for the next week or so before we increase the prices of the EAP training program. Also, I'll put a couple of testimonials on the screen so you guys can see what other traders just like you have thought about their experience throughout learning to trade with us in the EAP training program. So guys, that's going to do it for this week's video. If you have any ideas for other videos you'd like me to produce, if you have any questions for me, put them in the comment section below. Let me know what you want to see. I'm very curious. I want to produce content that you guys enjoy, so make sure to leave me a comment on the next video idea you'd like for me to produce. Beyond that, I hope you guys have a great week in your trading. I hope you trade green. I wish you the best of luck in all of your trades and in all of life. I can't wait to talk to you guys in the next video, and I'll see you then.